Hi, this is Rob Leo. We've been looking at Google Sites. We learned how to insert content like text, images, and websites, links. We've learned how to add pages. We've learned how to arrange those pages and add content from Google Drive, including docs, slides, sheets, forms, and more. In this tutorial, we're going to continue to build a Google site. In this case, we're going to look at using elements from YouTube, Google Calendar, and Google Maps. Let's just take a look at a blank page here. I've already got one set up, page 3. You might recall you can adjust your headers as needed. If you want to have a banner with an image, you can certainly do so. I'm going to leave mine as a title-only page for now. YouTube content is readily available at your fingertips simply by clicking YouTube and doing a Google search. I'm going to search for a YouTube channel called Crash Course from John Green. And let's say I'm teaching on the French Revolution and I'd like to share a short YouTube video with students. I can simply select it and place it right on my page. You can continue to do so if I wanted to continue to build more crash course lessons. And like other elements, you could arrange these on the page. You can adjust the color palette to differentiate each row as you go. Of course, you can also add text boxes. And let's say you want to arrange your stuff. Let's call this subheading text, which will automatically change the fonts. Let's arrange the size of the text box. Let's drag it up to the top. And again, we can even spread this out and center it, kind of give it a nice look as we go. If you want to bring the colors together, kind of makes it look like you meant to do that. If you want to add calendar items, you certainly can do that as well. I'm just going to open up Google Calendar on a new tab here. You can go to calendar.google.com. Of course, you can also look to the waffle icon and click on Google Calendar itself. I've got several calendars I've created here. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Calendar, but under My Calendars, if you wanted to create a new one, I'm just going to give this a name. Call it Demo for Google Sites. You can have as many calendars as you want, each with a different purpose. You can add a description. And when it comes to sharing this calendar with others, you want to check the box and make the calendar public. And the reason we do this is because if you don't have the westgenesee.org account, then no one's going to see it except for those that are logged in. And if you're creating stuff for parents to see and so forth, maybe you're posting your homework assignments and posting those on a Google site, parents won't see that stuff unless they have access to the calendar. It sounds kind of scary making it public, but really it's quite harmless. And if you click Create Calendar, you've pretty much say yes when you get the warning message, and your calendar is then created. You should see it under your list of My Calendars. I should see it in a moment. My changes are saved. Demo for Google. You can change the color of your calendar as well just to differentiate it. I'm going to turn mine into, say, bright green. And when I post an event, notice you have day, week, month, agenda. I'm going to go to the monthly view, and let me just post an event. Let's say I've got something coming up on April 3rd. Notice it's going to post to the Robert Leo calendar. I want to change that. I want to post it to the Demo for Google Sites calendar, the one I just created. Any calendar you create will come up in your list. You want to make sure you post it to the appropriate one. And then let's say we have an event that lasts on, it starts on the 3rd, it ends on the 3rd. We won't make it an all-day event. We'll add a time. Let's say I've got at 1 o'clock p.m. Let me just adjust this to PM. Going until 1, or let's say we go to 2 p.m. Let's say that's when my event will take place. I can add a location if I want to. If you put in an actual location, if you're on your phone, Google will find it for you. It's kind of nice. You can also add a description. If you want to add attachments to that calendar event, maybe you're posting a homework due date and you have files you'd like to attach, you can certainly do that as well. Once you're all set, you simply click Save. And because I posted this to the Google, the Demo for Google Sites calendar, notice it's green, which matches the color right here. Let's go back to Google Sites and let's insert a calendar. And again, it's searching for all the calendars that I own. Here's the demo for Google Sites calendar. We're simply going to insert it, and that will now appear on the page. It appears as agenda view, but notice there's a cog. If you click that, you can switch it to month, week, or agenda. Let's just go with month view for now. And again, like other elements, you can drag this around, you can enlarge the size of it and so forth. And when you're all set, if we get a preview of this, it's showing for March. I put my event in April, and there it is, demo event for calendar. If I click on it, it has the dates, the time. I did not attach any files, but I certainly could. But again, it's a nice way to share information with families, share information with students, especially if you're posting due dates. If you're a Google Classroom user, the calendar will all automatically be created in Google Calendar if you set due dates within your Google Classroom for the assignments that you create. Well, that's another tutorial for another time. We'll add one more element here, Google Maps. And for me to do that, I'm going to start in Google Drive. So bear with me just a moment. If you click on the New button, if you hover over More, notice there's a section for My Maps. And let's say I'm doing an activity where I want students to identify different items on a map. Maybe I'm doing a geography lesson. Again, I'm just going to call this, let's call this the Allies of World War II. Map of US, UK, and USSR. Let me save that. So I've got a title to my map, and now let me just start by doing a search. I can't search for the USSR. It doesn't exist anymore. If I type it in, I don't think, oh, actually it might. Here we go. It'll bring me to Moscow. It's not really what I want to do. I would prefer, however, to put Russia on the map, just as an example. And here we have it. If you click Add to Map, it'll put a little push pin that you can then edit. So notice the pencil icon. I'm just going to call this USSR. And next to the, or actually in the bottom right corner, notice you can add an image or a video. I'm going to do a Google search for Joseph Stalin. There we go. These are all copyright-free images. We'll take this one, and we will insert that. There is also a space for me to write a brief blurb, and I could say Joseph Stalin was the leader of the USSR during World War II. So I can make an image, I can make a custom blurb, I can give it my own custom title, I can click Save. And now let's find a kingdom. Let's do a search for that. And this is all going to go on the same map. I'm going to click Add to Map with my pencil. I'm going to type in Winston Churchill led the UK during World War II. My camera icon, we'll do a Google image search for Churchill. Go, select it and insert it. Got my image, got my blurb, got my title. I'm going to save it. We'll do one more, United States. Again, I'm going to add to map. Click my pencil. FDR led the US, bear with me, during World War II. Put in my camera icon. Do a Google image search for Roosevelt. There we go. Save it. So I've successfully added 3 push pins to the map. For whatever reason, my image didn't come through. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's save it. If I click on USSR, there's my push pin with Stalin in my description. If I push on UK, it brings me over to Britain. If I click on US, there's FDR, my blurb, my title. So I've created this in Google Maps. Let me just share it. And like other stuff I want to embed in the page, this is set to private by default. I want to make sure that anyone with the link can view it. And I'm going to save it and click Done. Let's go back to Google Sites. So you saw me add YouTube stuff. You saw me add a calendar. One last thing is we'll add a map. I really don't care if Google knows my location. Notice you have Maps versus My Maps. And under My Maps, that's the one I just created, the Allies of World War II. I'm going to check the box. I'm going to select it, and that will place my map with the 3 push pins right on the page. Now, if I had the time, I would go and make one of the axis powers and show you Japan and Germany and so forth. But again, like other stuff, you can move this around, drag it where you want to place it, and center it on the page if you want. You can even enlarge it if you wanted to. But again, if I go to preview mode, there's my YouTube stuff. There's my map. If I click on one of these push pins, it takes me to the custom blurb that I created. This map is draggable in the background. Bear with me just one sec as my phone rings. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about the phone interruption there. So again, I was just kind of explaining, let's get out of preview mode here. You can insert these maps. Again, if kids are making websites, maybe they're making something to demonstrate their learning on a project-based learning project or something. It's a great way for kids to show what they know, and the mapping tool kind of makes it easy to build some custom maps that they can then embed right on a page. I think that's going to be it for this video. Again, we've got YouTube, we've got calendar, we've got map. More things you can do to enhance the content on your site. When we come back next, we're going to look at themes and publishing your site. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful.